Hello. Touching my face. Jax West, Stephen Avery Project, Justice with Jax, and Mayhem Gossip. I have roughly 90 minutes right now until I have a work call thing I have to do. So I'm popping on, see if anybody is here since we're sequestered around the world. If there's anything anybody wants to talk about. Otherwise, I can do one later today. Oh, look at my hair, because I just don't care. Um, I can do one after the call or later tonight or something. But um, I can start doing more videos now that the primary is over here in Illinois. That was on Tuesday. And we're on quarantine. Hello, Joyce and Andrea. So maybe we'll start doing some regular videos, both here and I'll do them on YouTube as well, um, for whatever you guys want to chat about. Doesn't have to be Stephen related. It can be any case or whatever, because we're all locked up together as I'm touching my face. But I can touch my face at home, right? Just sitting here at my house. Nothing to do right now until my work call thing at 2 o'clock. So, what y'all want to talk about? Anything? I know that one of the Stephen Avery Project moderators just posted today that somebody from or connected to Stephen's prison has been diagnosed with the coronavirus. So I'm really worried what's going to happen to inmates with this, that they're not going to get the proper help. It's a strong concern. I have talked with, I know both Melissa and Marnie's prison no longer allows visitors, and Kent called me the other day. Kent said, yeah, no visitors are allowed there, but they're not on lockdown where they're stuck in their cells. So, at least wasn't the other day when he called. Hello, Julie. Joyce says courthouses are closed there, but the judges and such are still there. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with court cases. Um, didn't wasn't something just posted? Didn't Buting just post the other day that now in Stephen's case it's given an automatic another 30 days because of this? So we won't have the March 27th date anymore for him. I believe I recall seeing that. Um, I know Marnie, that 2020 has filmed a 2 hour episode on Marnie's case, and it keeps getting pushed back and back and back. And so then the final last date we had been given was March 27th. And Tammy told me today that it's now they're going to go into airing repeats. No, nothing new. So we have no idea when the Marnie episode is going to air. Oh, I'm so not used to on Facebook, that I have to scroll down to see your comments. They don't just automatically come up. Oh, so Andrea, yeah, the prison that Melissa and Marnie are in are do not allow visitors. But I don't know if they are. I don't think they're locked in their rooms because both of them have emailed me. Um, so I at that point they're not locked in their cells. So I know I've posted before the addresses to write to Marnie and Melissa. I still have a post-it note right here. So Melissa's inmate number is R as in what? Rabbit 88005. Marnie is R 87 I can't read my own writing. Is that 106 or 186? All right, so don't listen to me on the Marnie one because I can't read my writing there. But it's Logan Correctional, P.O. Box 1000, Lincoln, Illinois 62656. You could write to them if... Hold on, that's my son. Because I texted my son saying that maybe he should come stay with me this weekend. You know, that we, since we're in this quarantine, come hang out here with me. So writing to Marnie and Melissa. So, write to them. Melissa, if you watch The Walking Dead this season, is so awesome. So you could talk to her about everything you think about this season of Walking Dead. So that would be something fun to talk to her about. Thank you, Joyce. Lynn says, you sound tired. You've been busy past couple weeks. I'm kind of getting depressed. So yeah, I'm kind of like out of it today. I've been doing a diet and exercise plan. I'm on week 4 of that, but I have not worked out in a week and I have no desire to work out. I'm just kind of in a blah mood right now. I'm somebody, I've been diagnosed with, that I have depression, anxiety, and I am medicated for it. But I'm like going down right now the last couple days. I don't know why. So, Lynn, I've had plenty of sleep, but now that I say that, now I'm going to yawn. But I'm just tired and blah and yuck. Jeff really likes Carol, and but we'll see what happens with Carol. Really now that, spoiler alert, if you're not up to date on Walking Dead, don't listen. That Negan gave her Alpha's head. So, we'll see if we get any kind of flashback of Carol and Negan planning something out. So I'm interested to see that. But yeah, please do, if you're Walking Dead fans. Melissa is diehard. So that would be something so great if you would write to Melissa about Walking Dead. She also watches Fear the Walking Dead, and then that new spinoff is about to start. So you could just start writing to her every week after the latest episode. That's a weird. Sorry. I'm a clinic escort. I just got sent an email of a waiver I have to sign. I'm an escort at clinics where people are going for health care, but people are out there protesting them and screaming at them. And so with this whole virus thing, a lot of clinics are getting rid of their escorts. And I said healthcare doesn't stop because of this. So I will continue. And so now they want us to sign some waiver. Let me see. Oh. So it's a assumption of risk in waiver of liability. I am aware that there may be certain risks involved in so I'm not going to hold anybody liable if I get sick or die. by continuing to escort, and that I am pledging to adhere to the protocols. I'm going to stand 6 feet away from everybody, wash my hands, wear gloves and masks if appropriate. I will not approach any patients, not leaving any items in the clinic. Okay. Please sign in and attach. How do I sign this digitally? I don't know. Let me scroll back over to you guys while I'm doing that. I'm so not good with this stuff. All right, forget it. Jeff, if you're still on, I'm going to forward you this email to like sign my name on it or whatever. I don't know how to do this. Jeff. All right, Jeff. Sign my name on that digitally or whatever and send it back to me so I can send it to him because I escort this Saturday. Yeah, Joyce, people, I escorted on Tuesday and they were there still yelling at the patients. I've also asked if maybe the clinic will allow me to have Jeff make a big banner I can put up that will say, there are escorts here to help you, so they know that we're safe when they get there. Lynn, believe it or not, my printer, doesn't work. Jeff hasn't hooked it up for me, and I don't know how to do any of that stuff, so I can't. Yeah, I thought this week's Walking Dead was really good, Tanya. So, what else? What is going on? Um, I did a lot of work for the Illinois primary for a whole bunch of different candidates, and all but one of my candidates won. It's a heartbreaker, though, the one that didn't. She's somebody that I worked really, really hard for. But you win some, you lose some, so. And now we get a break in that, until the general in the fall. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Um, I'm gonna go to Manitowoc. So, going to Manitowoc, I don't come in contact with anybody. And I'm just going to get cabin fever here. So, I was talking with somebody yesterday, and Christopher, hello, praise the Lord, hello. And he's going to put together an itinerary for me. Ooh, wait, I have a message request. I hate that you don't find out. Oh, it's somebody who's blocked me. I had a message request. I never see it like using my phone or my tablet. It's only when I like come to my laptop. But so the person, there's no name, and it's just a empty, just the outline of a Facebook person or Facebook guy. So it just says Facebook user. They sent this to me on Saturday at 4:50 p.m. But then it says this message has been temporarily removed because the sender's account requires verification. So somebody was trying to send me some, a fan trying to send me something nasty, and with a fake account, and Facebook didn't let it through, I guess. Terry, just tuning in. What's this quarantine have in terms and effect to those you visit, Jax? The prisons that I visit aren't allowing visits any longer. So when I went just in time, I went Wednesday last week, and when I went there, On top of your normal sign-in stuff, there was a form I had to fill out that just had boxes I had to check yes or no. So it was, have you been out of the country recently? Have you been around somebody who's been out of the country? Are you not feeling well? Have you been around somebody not feeling well? Do you, and I think the last one was like, do you have a temperature or something like that? So obviously everybody would just say no to all of those. And now this wasn't something new to this. This is something that's always at the prison. When you go to the bathroom, well, a new thing about going to the bathroom is everybody, not just inmates, every time you went to the bathroom, you had to get patted down to go into the bathroom and patted down to go out. But they didn't do it to me. So, and I had used the bathroom twice when I was there because I visited the girls extra long this time. And so I used the bathroom twice and I wasn't searched either time. But everybody else was searched going into the bathroom, going out. And then it's always in the bathrooms there that there's no soap dispenser to wash your hands. It's a bar of soap that everybody is to use, that one bar of soap to wash their hands. No, I'm sorry. And I'm not a germaphobe at all. But that's nasty. I don't want to. I haven't used bars of soap in my shower forever. I don't want to share a bar of soap with family members. Just gross. And that just seems like a really bad idea to me. Now, and especially during this virus time, that you're gonna use some generic bar of soap that how many other people have used to wash their hands. I don't know. Yuck. Tasha, can I get an update on the Avery case? Just tuned in from Scotland. Sorry if we've already chatted about it. No worries, Tasha. The only thing there is on Stephen's case is that Buting just tweeted yesterday or the day before that all cases in Wisconsin are being given another 30 days. So that means you're not going to hear anything on Stephen's case till the end of April, maybe. And that there was a link that one of the Stephen Avery Project moderators posted saying that somebody affiliated with Waupun Correctional, where Stephen is, has the virus. So I don't know what's happening in Stephen's prison. And I haven't heard anything in the longest time on Brendan. I know in Brendan's case, they were just focused on trying to get the governor to free him, to pardon him. Joy says there's 2 cases of mumps in the local school system, but now that there's no school, wow, mumps. Cherry said, the living conditions, did they improve for Melissa and Marnie, heat, etc.? I did ask them about that. They said they have heat now. They said hot water was questionable. So I guess they had some. So Lynn says, I went through the depots, all 34 of them. Interesting that Stephen was there for all but 5 on 2 days. He missed Strauss 1, Lauman Part 1, Tinker, Fallon, and how is that pronounced? Is it Couché? The pencil? I checked his cell records and he didn't use his phone until an hour after Couché depot that ended at 1:30 p.m. I figure both the days he missed, he was busy with Jody's court days. Coincidence? Yeah, there's... Thank you, Jeff. Jeff just sent me back that waiver. God, Lynn, there's just no coincidences in this case. Everything is shady AF. Andrea, the nursing home my grandmother is in is also on lockdown with no visitors. We've been asking people with kids out of school, to draw pictures and write letters. Oh my God, that's so sweet. I love that idea, Andrea. And I find it sweet yet heartbreaking when you see on Facebook the people that are visiting their loved ones at senior homes that are on the other side of the glass, and hearing stories of people who have to be separated from their children. Like you see doctors talking about how they now have to be quarantined from their children since they continue helping people medically, and grandparents that can't see their grandchildren any longer. Um, this is rough, but it's something I posted after I talked to Kent the other day. Kent had said he would gladly take trade places with any of us. So I'm a whiner, and a complainer, and a gloom and doom. So when I sit here going, oh, I don't like being cooped up here. Um, Imagine if you're an inmate. So there, it's always, the grass is always greener, right? Where, in reverse, somebody's always got it worse than you. So, you know, it's not going to stop me from whining. I'm always going to whine and be a gloom and doom, but I just, the people like that are the people in prison, or the people that are separated from their children and grandchildren. Jeff keeps telling me no, and I keep saying yes, that I'm going to fill my house with puppies. I'll foster a whole bunch of puppies to take up my time if I'm stuck in the bubble of my house. Because I know there are shelters that are looking for places to put puppies, and that'll be something to brighten my day, right? Yeah, it'll also suck. They'll rip shit up and they'll piss and shit all over, but it's puppies. Cherry says, what about commissary needs for the inmates? Did they stop packages mail coming in? Wondering if they have enough products for what the inmates need. I don't know, Cherry. That's an interesting question. I will email them and see what I can find out. If, yeah. Lynn says, yep, I've been on isolation for over a week now. Thank God for FaceTime and Snapchat with the grandkids. Yeah, that's Lynn and other people that have to be extra careful with their health and, their immune systems. That was a friend of mine, a friend that I go to the movies with a lot. And she texted me yesterday and she's like, I guess no more, movie nights for a while. And I was like, well, you can always come here and we can sit 6 feet apart. And then she said that if we were to do that, she would really like another friend of mine to be here. And I'm like, well, he has lupus. So, he's got to take this really seriously, that he really has to be on lockdown. And then she's like, well, let's saran wrap him, um, just tough. And I love the celebrities that are doing things like they'll read books to children online. And then you've got the musicians that are doing free concerts. Or like when you see the people in Italy that went out on their balconies and played instruments and sang opera. I love seeing the interesting ways that people are trying to do things to help other people. Or here in Chicago, the Shed Aquarium, where they have the video of the penguins that are walking around the aquarium, checking things out. That's a mood lifter, for sure, and really cute. Tina, I'm an introvert, so this is right up my alley. Yeah, I've seen, some memes on that of people who are, I've been practicing for this my whole life. Uh, and that's where Jeff and I differ too. Jeff's, loves this. And for me, it's just like, oh my God, I don't want to be locked down here. Um, So, mm. Cherry says, well, tell Jeff shelters are talking about, oh my God, putting down animals because the quarantine, etc. So they're looking for fosters, lol. Oh, are you kidding about that? It's just something to talk them into it? Or is that real? Because, oh my God, if that was real, I would be going and rounding up every animal I could get my hands on. Nice being seen, Peggy. Debbie says, the hardest battle, in my opinion, is fighting with my kids to stay in and not compromise my life. I'm so angry with other parents that are letting their kids hang with other kids, driving back and forth to each other's homes, especially when I see this virus is airborne. Any thoughts, or am I going overboard keeping them in? Please help. No, you're right, Debbie. That's the thing that people aren't understanding. While technically I'm not somebody, I'm not 65. And as far as I know, I don't have a compromised immune system, but I could be a carrier. So I could infect someone else. Um, and then I'm seeing today things saying like the stuff it can live on plastic for 4 days, so this is just bizarre to me. It really is. We are living in a disaster movie, or any apocalypse movie. I just watched A Quiet Place yesterday. I've seen it before, but it was after my friend had talked about, because we would have gone to see Quiet Place Part 2 that is supposed to come out this week, right? Either this week or next week. So I'm like, oh, I'll watch the first one. Um, I mean, this is just so surreal. So, no, Debbie, you are absolutely right. But it's hard for a lot of people to, think this is real. And unless it really happens to you or, somebody close to you, you don't think anything bad will happen to you. Jeff said, virus is not airborne unless someone literally sneezes on you. Um, I can't. I'll have to go and see what people have been posting today about the newest thing. Andrea says it's real about the euthanasia. People are unnecessarily freaking out, thinking their pets will give them the virus or transmit it from going outside. So people are asking their vets to put down their pets. Oh my God. Well, I know there's some state reps that I am friends with. And let me go to my personal page so I can, because I know I shared it today too, that there's pets. Oh, come on, let's scroll. I post a lot. Where is it? Can pets spread COVID-19? There is no evidence that companion animals such as dogs and cats can spread COVID-19. The Humane Society is who put that out. So it's like, oh my God, no, don't. Mm, so sad. Um, so unfortunately, Debbie, no, you're doing the right thing. That you know you can't be doing play dates and such, because and then same thing with testing. It's like if I was to get tested, well, I'm not staying in my house all the time. I'm going to be escorting Saturday morning, so I could just get it then. um but I won't stop escorting because medical care doesn't stop. So as long as there's going to be people to go try and intimidate people from getting medical care, I'm going to be there to try and comfort them. Debbie says, I watched a program with Will Smith and Jada with some cop, like of the CDC, that are finding out it is airborne. Lynn says, they really don't know enough about how this is traveling. It's just best to stay safe and flatten the curve. Correct, Lynn. Let me go. I've got a friend who's a state senator. Did she maybe post? Because I know I saw it on Facebook today, but then I didn't share it. Yeah, I know. If it's on Facebook, it's true, right? That was saying how it was transmitted. I'm not seeing it on, no, I'm not seeing it on her page. But it's better to be safe than sorry, right? As they say. To not go out. And here it's a gray, gloomy, gloom and doom day. Raining on and off. Just blah. Oh, let me get this. I'm gonna forward this. Forward. Info. Ew. At clinic. Why is that not coming up? clinicvestproject.com. Sorry. All right, sorry. Uh-oh, Jeff is getting all technical. It's carried on respiratory droplets when we talk, sneeze, and cough. Oh, God, I hope Big Hair stays away from people since she likes to spread her stuff everywhere. And these can land on surfaces or in someone's mouth or nose. When it comes to respiratory droplets, 6 feet is the magic distance. That's how far these tiny infected droplets can travel. Being within 6 feet of someone who is sick can get you or your personal space contaminated with COVID-19. Okay, so you've got the 6 feet thing in person, but then what about, I know there was a thing on Facebook today that's talking about how long it can live on plastic, on metal. Has anybody seen that? Okay, Debbie's gonna try. No, Debbie, you would have to private message it to me, or is that just on? Is that on Facebook or YouTube? That does only allows the creator to post a link. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm all confused right now. Italy's death toll reaches 3,405, surpassing China's number of fatalities. Do not call it the Chinese virus or anything like that. That is so racist and offensive. And all you're doing if you try and blame this on China, let me tell you, one of my good friends is Chinese. I was on the phone with her for like an hour yesterday. Thank you, Debbie, for sending the link. Oh, to Red Hat Table Talk. So my friend Fanny and her children and Chinatown in Chicago have been targets now to be blamed because of people who are calling this the Kung flu or the Chinese virus. Knock it off. Jeff says, yes, can live on surfaces up to 9 days depending on the material. This is how it is picked up by touching and spreading, touching and spreading, hence wash your hands. Yeah. Let me click on Debbie's link that she sent to Stephen Avery Project. And then I can get it and paste it in here for you all. Jeff, this laptop is always really, really slow on no matter what I do. Even if it's not just online stuff when I try and pull up a document when I'm not even online. Um, can I copy? Copy link address and post it in here. There's the red tabletop. My friend Ken always tells me I really should regularly watch the Red Table Talk. He thinks it would be something that I would enjoy. And, I know there's been stuff in the news about it. I just got a notification from Facebook saying your post is now back on Facebook. We're sorry we got it wrong. The other day, Facebook was removing so many of people's posts. Um, they were counting so much stuff that I had posted as spam. So I'm going to guess everybody's going to get lots of these now saying your post is back on Facebook. We're sorry we got this wrong. We reviewed your post again and it does follow our community standards. So weird. Jeff, it's you. That's a brand new laptop. No, it's not me. Cherry says, I just don't get why people are hoarding toilet paper. I don't either. Feels weird to now go to the market and get my allowed to buy one roll daily. Yeah, I don't get it either. Oh, now it's pouring here. Um and some of the memes have been really funny, like somebody's like, now I know what to do with this basket of socks, that oh, that reminds me, I've got stuff in the washer, I need to remember to switch it over. um that there's only one sock that they lost the other one, the other sock. I don't get the toilet paper thing, the hoarding thing. uh um I'm yeah, really bothering me. The uh people who really need the stuff. And I really appreciate all the stores that are making set elderly times, so the elderly can get things instead of, and the assholes that, like that asshole that bought all the sanitizer and then was trying to gouge people for it. Oh, I made a post about that the other day saying, they okay, there it is again, being sent the waiver from somebody else. Anyway, that they should be letting all the elderly, the drug abusers, or people in prison for drug offenses, and obviously the innocent, remove them, let them out of the prisons and put the gougers in. Yeah, there's my friend saying now Facebook is returning all the posts they took down. um Responding to Jeff, saying this is why it is important to wash your hands all the time and don't overuse hand sanitizer use. So hand sanitizer only when soap unavailable. Jeff says soap, any soap, is actually more effective due to the chemical makeup of this and most viruses. Soap literally disintegrates and destroys the chemical makeup of the virus and washes it away. Sanitizers, 60% of greater alcohol will kill the virus, but leaves you with a handful of dead virus. Ew. Sherry says, oh, good on stores. Hopefully during those hours, trucks just come in so the stores are stocked with basic needs. Um, I did, if you want to call it hoarding, this diet I've been on that my friend made for me. My lunch is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on wheat. And Jeff and I went to the store on Sunday and there was no bread. And so I had even messaged Ken and I said, not going to be able to do this completely because I couldn't get bread. And he's like, well, at this point, you can have any kind of bread. And it's like, there was no bread. It doesn't matter. I couldn't switch the wheat bread. But now I ran to the store the other day and there was bread. So I brought 2 loaves of it, one I put in the freezer, one to use. So I didn't buy all the bread they had. I just bought one extra. Debbie says, people are going crazy here standing in lines to buy ammunition. My brother-in-law has been working 14 days at Meijer to keep stores stocked. And Debbie, that is frightening to me. And we could get into this topic with Jeff, who, Jeff and I, our relationship, it's kind of weird with, that he's a gun enthusiast and NRA instructor who teaches concealed carry. He's got his concealed carry, so he is always carrying a gun. And then here I am literally on the state exec board for Brady United, and I'm a field organizer for GPAC, which is a gun violence prevention. They're both gun violence prevention organizations. And it is a concern now that you have people that are rushing out to get guns and ammunition because this is freaking them out. And any responsible gun owner is for sensible gun laws. I am not trying to take people's guns away. Trust me. And Jeff can say that as well. But like Jeff, for example, will not teach the concealed carry class to people that he knows this is not a good idea for that person to always have a gun. So now getting people in this, our world is so different right now, and people are hoarding and all of that. And are we going to get people just randomly shooting others that I'm quarantined in my house and somebody's knocked on my door and I'm afraid they're going to take that loaf of bread out of my freezer, so I'm just going to shoot them. And these are people who, because to get your concealed carry, it's 16 hours, Jeff? Is it 16 hours or 18 hours? I don't remember numbers well, but, where there's in person, well, there's an online you have to take, then there's in person you have to take, and then there's also range time. So I've actually taken Jeff's concealed carry, but he was also an asshole when I took the concealed carry, because like this question's online, and then I would just, he's sitting next to me when I was doing it, and I'm like, what's the answer to this? And he wouldn't help me. He literally had to he takes it that seriously that he wouldn't just pass me. But we've never gone for the range time. And I also don't have my FOID. So I can't have concealed carry. I don't have a FOID card. I paid for a FOID card and they booted me. They cashed my check, but didn't give me my FOID. But you can't just carry a gun because you want to. I don't care how you're going to interpret our Second Amendment. You can't just carry a gun because you want to. And now this is going to have crazies who are going to do it, who might be Quick Draw McGraw and get into that fight at the store for the last roll of toilet paper, and now somebody could shoot somebody. So it's a big concern I have right now with this rush that first-time gun buyers. Okay, Jeff said 16 hours. Yeah. Scary time. But I totally get that you're going to want to your home. I understand the people who want to go get those guns. Just scary time. Whoops. I need to go here to go get this email. All right. They got my waiver. They said thank you. Let me scroll to you guys. Hello, Cindy and Maureen. Yeah, Debbie, don't go stand in line. Tara, how are you doing in quarantine? Hope all is well. Um, I'm doing well. As I said earlier, I'm getting depressed. I'm feeling kind of down, and I've been, as I always call it, I feel blah. So I have felt blah the last couple of days. But you got to do what you got to do, right? Jeff says, in the last 72 hours, more firearms have been purchased than any other time in history. The scary part is that 80% are first time gun owners. See, and that's what I mean. You're hearing that from Jeff, who Jeff is a lifelong gun enthusiast, you know, as was his father and his father before him. But these are responsible gun owners. Responsible gun owners don't want just everybody to have a gun. So Jeff and I just went to the range 2 weeks ago. And I fired all kinds of guns, including an AR, which is a thing that a lot of people that are on my side of the gun issue want ARs banned. And I understand why they want them banned. But I also understand why people like Jeff want to own them. It was easier to shoot than I thought. I could see how it's fun to go to a range and shoot those and to try and hit the target. I get it. But I don't think things like that should be so readily accessible for people to go buy and use. I don't know what the answers are for that. If it's, if you make it so only like ranges have them and you have to pay to rent it at the range, doesn't mean somebody won't rob the place and get that gun. And the guns exist. There's no, if you put a ban on them now, they don't just poof, magically they're gone. They still exist. I don't know what the right answer is. You need a FOID card to get a firearm. Okay, so there's Jeff answering Debbie. Lynn says, I have a question for Jeff regarding his thoughts on something regarding gun ownership and sales. If someone is diagnosed with PTSD, should they be allowed to own or sell guns? I'm sure Jeff will have an interesting answer for you there, Lynn. My response, no. If they have PTSD, they should not. But again, how do you something we're working on here in Illinois. So the thing that I have to and so my work call that I have at 2:00 is I have to report what I have been doing for what we're doing in Illinois, the bio bill. Okay. So the bio bill stands for Black Illegal Ownership. And it has passed the Illinois House, but it is stuck in the Illinois Senate. So we are focused on the Illinois senators that we could get to vote for this bill, which is the other name for it that people call it is fix the FOID. The FOID is the firearm identification ownership. Something. I can't remember the name of it. Okay. Key elements in this bill, which is SB, Senate Bill 1966. requiring a point of sale background check for all unlicensed gun sales, requiring fingerprints as part of the FOID card application process, which you do have to get fingerprinted to get your concealed carry. So what would be the big deal to get fingerprinted for your FOID? Requiring action by law enforcement to remove guns once a FOID card is revoked. And Jeff can actually speak on that, on having your FOID removed, and nobody comes to your house saying, now you have to give me your guns and we're going to search your house to make sure you don't have any guns. Requiring the FOID card duration from 10 years to 5 years, because you pay X amount of dollars right now and then your FOID is good for 10 years. So this wants to limit it to 5 because you have to be able to check and see what's current. So I've got a whole bunch of these. And then what else is there? There's these. Okay. Children have the right to grow up free from gun violence. Firearms are the leading cause of death for children in Illinois. More than 34,000 Illinoisans have been deemed unsafe to own a gun. Nearly 80% may still be armed. Illinois has the 9th highest rate of gun homicides in the country. Of all homicides in Illinois, 80% involve a gun, compared to 73% nationally. The Aurora Henry Pratt shooter, that's just a couple towns over from me, used an illegally owned handgun. SB 1966 closes the background check loophole the shooter used to buy and keep the gun. It requires, SB 1966 requires background checks for all gun sales, including by private sellers, curbing the flow of guns into the illegal secondary market. Combining a strong gun licensing system with background checks on all gun sales is proven to decrease gun violence 40% in states that implement these two measures. Requires applicants for FOID cards to submit fingerprints to spot dishonest applicants. Reduces the risk of people who become prohibited after obtaining a FOID card from later using their card to purchase firearms. Illegal interstate gun trafficking is 48% lower in states that require background checks for private handgun sales. Oh boy, there's a whole lot on this other side. Not going to read that all to you right now. Pam says, a town over from me, someone held a gun to an older man and took his groceries as he was leaving Walmart. Scary times. Oh my God. Debbie says, I gave my AR to my stepdaughter. Wish now I didn't, but it was the only thing she wanted of her deceased father's. Does she keep it locked up and safe, Debbie? Hello, Debbie Kelly. Jeff says, unfortunately, PTSD has a wide range of symptoms, from mind and unaffecting to completely unstable. Couple this with the high percentage of veterans that have PTSD. That's a hard sell to tell someone who fought for our rights with a weapon that they are now trusted with one. Like many of these cases, they really need to be diagnosed and handled on a case-by-case basis. And I agree with you there, Jeff. Tina says, explain the bill. So I think I was just reading it. If you need to know more, I can read more. Debbie says, I hope everyone is well and safe. What a strange world we all live in. Jeff says, you don't have to be printed, but it takes another 90 days or more. Oh, yeah, that's the way to speed it up. Okay, I forgot about that for your concealed carry. Cindy says, what if they need to feed their family? By that, we up here use our guns for hunting for food. Oh, and I totally understand that. So Cindy says, a lot of us went and bought a bunch of bullets for that purpose. But what are the... Isn't there set times for when you can hunt, certain animals? I don't know how that works. Cherry says, don't you have to go before a judge to get the permit? No. I'm pretty sure my sister here in New York had to have a judge grant her a permit for her pistol. Yeah, Jeff says not in Illinois. Debbie Kelly says, do you need a permit in the U.S.? I don't think you need one everywhere, right, Jeff? That's a big deal that Illinois, you have to have a FOID card. And then that's where you get into the whole, here in the States, the Second Amendment thing and how people interpret the Second Amendment to be as if it is your right to have a weapon or not. So there's people who say, why should I have to pay or get registered to have this weapon that the Constitution tells me I have the right to have? Okay, Jeff says it's much harder in New York. Pam says, on a lighter note, NETP in Illinois. When I was at the grocery store 2 days ago, there was not any at the store that I was at. And the shelves were empty, and then there was a sign on the shelves telling there was going to be a limit to X amount. But I don't know, I didn't read it, or even if I'd read it, I wouldn't remember how much they were saying you could have. But yeah, it's bizarre to me that that's the thing people are most concerned with is toilet paper. Okay, Tina says, yes, there is seasons. And so I don't know if that's something that then goes into this quarantine thing. If there'll be something saying, okay, now you can go kill deer for meat. But everything here keeps saying, our governor in Illinois, who I love J.B. Pritzker so much, and he gives a daily press conference updating, but he says, our stores are constantly going to be restocked, and so there's no, please don't hoard, so there's still going to be food in the stores. But then again, do they have money to go pay for this food now? Because can they work? And I know there's things like you're going to be able to get unemployment or whatever. And I know the United States government is talking about sending everybody $1,000. Well, that's happened on another president's thing, that they sent everybody $1,000, and people are like, our president's so great, he gave us money. And then when tax time rolls around, you then get hit for that $1,000. So yeah, I don't know if they're gonna have to change things hunting wise, if people can't afford to go buy food. Debbie, this is why I'm glad I live in the UK. Yeah, Sydney says people are getting on age because of what's going on right now. Jeff says the U.S. allows the states to rule individually on concealed carry. This is a problem on why we need national reciprocity. Is that how I say that word? Jeff continues saying, I can legally carry in 43 states, but when driving across country, I become a felon just because I crossed your state line. Which, right, Jeff, goes both ways. That's why we need this national thing, because if Jeff has been checked and is legal to carry, he should be legal to carry everywhere. But if you have been deemed dangerous, or your PTSD, or you're a felon or whatever, then if you're a felon in Kentucky, you should be a felon in Illinois and not be able to have a gun here. And that's the problem we had with like the shooting in Aurora. He couldn't legally have a gun in one state, so he just got it through another. And there was nothing showing. So when he got checked at that state, the thing at the other state didn't carry over. And so they're like, here you go, here's this gun, now go shoot up your workplace. Debbie says, what the hell is the deal with toilet paper? I mean, seriously, how much does one person need? If you need that much, you have a problem. Yeah, I'm really confused by it. Tina says, to get my card, it was a weekend class, range time, written test, and fingerprinted for Michigan. Debbie says, it's sad because I have Crohn's. Oh my. And I haven't been able to buy toilet paper. Thank God my brother-in-law gave me 6 rolls. Yeah, I know. Um, there's restaurants now that are saying, if you order delivery, they'll give you 1 free roll of toilet paper. Yeah, there's Jeff saying, all these things, people are idiots. Um, yeah, Cindy says, I guess they think it's explosive diarrhea. Um, Debbie's been working from home for 3 days and it's doing her head in. Yeah, and I wish it wasn't so gloom and doom today and raining, because it's like, oh, I'd go, sit by the pond for a little bit or go play with the dogs outside. Just being in here by myself, um, just kind of, mm, in the news and all that. Um, the other day, on Monday, I did nothing all day and just watched Netflix. I am binge watching. What I'm binge watching on Netflix that I hadn't watched before is some documentary series called I Am a Killer, which is totally different than most of the cases that, of the things that I watch. These are all people who are guilty and admit it, that they killed somebody for whatever reason. So I think there's like 2 seasons of it or something. I have no idea how far along of it I'm on. Um, but and I know they've been saying maybe some first run movies will now be available on demand. Um, and like I said, I'm thinking of doing, if this becomes a serious thing, I'll do more lives and we can sit here and chat or, do something together. I don't know, to get through this together. Lynn says, I'd be afraid to order from restaurants offering toilet paper with their meal. There's my reminder that my call's in a half hour. Um, Lynn says, oh, I read Lynn's. Debbie says, you need to interact with other people. It's going to be a serious issue. The Lost Girls. Wow, I watched that too. Yeah. Um, and Amy, I can't think of her name. Amy Ryan, is that her name? Phenomenal actress. So if you haven't watched Lost Girls yet on Netflix, I recommend it. Um, Somebody asking to join gossip. Mm-mm-mm. Um, ooh, speaking of gossip, so what is this? You're invited to the new Facebook design. We're excited for you to try a fresh, simpler experience of the Facebook website. Find things faster, get there fast with our new streamlined way to navigate. Cleaner look, bigger text. Woohoo. Larger fonts and simplified layouts make it easier to do what you want. Cut down glare with dark mode. Give your eyes a break and try with give your eyes a break with the dramatic new look of dark mode. Try it. All right, I just clicked on it. Sorry, squirrel. Welcome to a fresh, simpler Facebook. Still working on making this experience better, so we'd love to hear your feedback. Turn on dark mode to give your eyes a break. Catch up quickly with faster loading times. Find things easily with a cleaner look and brighter text. Next. Choose your. Now you can decide how Facebook looks to you. You can change this at any time in your settings. Light. Okay, I'll click on the dark just to see. All right, I clicked on dark and then click get started. And then it says you can switch to the classic Facebook at any time. Okay. Okay. Whatever. Um. Mm-mm-mm. Lock and Key was good. I keep seeing that. I haven't watched it, Debbie. Oh, Lynn, I already clicked do it. Um, I don't know. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's terrible. It says now she'll tell me her computer is broke. The struggle is real. It is slow, Jeff. Trust me. Well, obviously you don't trust me. It is slow. Um, Sydney's saying don't do it. Debbie says, Jax, I just sent something to your messenger. My daughter works for NIPSCO and they are considered first responders and gets a lot of info before we do. Pat, please read it. Okay. Doesn't have it there. I just have your. Is it because I have the new freaking thing on there that it's not coming up over here in Messenger? Because it just keeps telling me I have two notifications, but it's not telling me what they are. All right, switch back to classic Facebook. Switch back. Okay. Will it? It's not loading. So, struggle is real. My computer is broke. Pam says another good binge-worthy show on Netflix is The Dark. Excellent. Did I watch that? That sounds familiar. Get off. It's still circling. It won't give me anything. Did I watch The Dark? I think I watched it. Let me go. If I go over to gossip on this screen, will it show me I have a message? Yikes. That's Debbie sending it to my personal that came through on the phone. Debbie, do you want me to say this and to tell people on here? This is something actually. Jeff, is this what you got that you sent me earlier? Um, Debbie, tell me if you want me to read this or keep it private. You want okay, so you want me to read this out loud? Say yes again, Debbie, if you want me to read this out loud. I just want to double check before I read it. Because I don't want to do it if you don't want me to. Debbie, type yes again if you want me to read this out loud. Okay. Don't know how official this is. FYI, Homeland Security is preparing to mobilize the National Guard, preparing to dispatch them across the U.S. along with military. They will also call in first responders. They are preparing to announce a nationwide 2-week quarantine for all citizens, all businesses closed, everyone at home. They will announce this as soon as they have troops in place to help prevent looters and rioters. They will announce before the end of the weekend. Within 48 to 72 hours, the president will evoke what is called the Stafford Act. The president will order a 2-week mandatory quarantine for the nation. Stock up on whatever you need to make sure you have a 2-week supply of everything. Please forward to your family and friends. I feel a tightness after reading that. Jeff, is that what you were telling me about? Uh, yeah, that's concerning because that absolutely, it doesn't matter what you do, it's going to cause rioting. Whether this is true or not, this starts to travel around, people are going to freak out. There's my son. All right. All right. So my son doesn't believe it. um, uh, so I don't know. I don't want to freak people out unnecessarily. Uh, so I'm just telling my son, I don't know either, but if it happens, please come here. Mm. Jeff says 300 troops arrived at the Riverside Reserve Base this morning. This is scary. Okay. Tammy just sent me that is a quote. Uh, um, that is a hoax, and there's um, and that there's an article on Mother Jones. Okay. Um. All right. Don't believe those texts that say the federal government is going to use the Stafford Act to quarantine the United States. Impossible to trace and difficult to debunk, rumors of a national quarantine are nevertheless false. Over the weekend, as many schools and businesses shuttered, text messages began to cause panic. One such text falsely claimed that U.S. President Donald Trump would enact the Stafford Act in 48 to 72 hours and order a 2-week mandatory quarantine. The National Security Council quickly refuted the rumors of national quarantine on Twitter. In fact, the Stafford Act, a law that allows the federal government to unlock resources directly to states, has already been activated. Trump declared the coronavirus pandemic a national emergency. The other viral texts have claimed that cities were going to shut down over the weekend. In New York, one text message falsely said roads, airports, and public transportation would be affected. The text became so widespread that Mayor Bill de Blasio and the NYPD both had to debunk. These texts were not limited to New York. Similar messages spread in Florida, Chicago, Los Angeles, and cities outside the U.S. The misinformation is not even limited to group chats, with many people passing on dubious voice memos that made similar claims. It's a kernel of truth thing, said co-founder of the fact-checking nonprofit First Draft. You see that, and it's not out of the realm of possibility. Okay, so, all right, I guess it's all over the What's Up app. Okay, so not true. All right, let me scroll to you guys. So I'm glad we were able to, that quickly debunk something. So, it's not something that is happening. Where the frick is my cat? I just heard her meow like really loud. But I don't see her. Oh, there she is. Mabel. Mabel kitty. Yeah. Sorry, my cat's outside. So it's not happening, but now that that's out there and everywhere, yeah, people are going to be freaking out, and you have them buying guns. There's Maddie's ass. And going to be fighting for food. Scary, scary times, people. Oh. On the TV is Trump meeting with FEMA as U.S. virus cases top 10,000. Jeff, I'm getting puppies. Puppies will make it all better. Mm-hmm. Tina says, there has to be a reason why all the reserve people were called. Well, didn't... Let me go to my governor's Facebook page. Because I think my governor posted something about that. If I can get his page to load. Maybe he said it in one of his daily things, and it's not something... Yeah, Jeff says hospitals are setting up tents for drive-through testing. We've got the hospital by our house has one set up. Yeah, I don't see any, because I could swear my governor said something about the National Guard, but I don't recall what it was. All right, let me see, because Illinois has its own coronavirus website to get the latest information. What Illinois is doing, how to prepare, best ways to prevent, frequently asked questions. Here's his proclamation and executive orders. Mabel is still meowing at the window. I don't see anything specific on the National Guard here. Lynn says military will be used for medical and supply transport. They are there to help, not cause chaos. I know de Blasio, New York, on his conference today, he said what they're going to do in New York is you do not have to pay your rent or mortgage for 3 months, but it'll be added on to the end. So it's not like you get 3 months free. You'll have to pay it later. You just don't have to do it right now. Hi, Tabby. And we're at 1:49. I have my work call in 10 minutes. Okay, so all right. So like I said, I have a work call that's supposed to go from 2 to 3. I don't think it'll last that long. I don't know if I'll pop on here again later today, or if I'll go over and do something on YouTube, because I haven't been on there in a while too. YouTube, Tabby, take care of yourself. Jeff doesn't work tonight, so I don't typically, I don't do lives if Jeff is home, unless Jeff is doing work around the house. Jeff says, automakers are closed because you have 1,500 people working on an assembly line, everyone basically touching the same parts. Recipe for mass spread. Yeah, Lynn, off you go, Jax. Thanks for the chat. Yeah, I've got my call coming up. So I'm gonna go, but yeah, everybody take care of yourselves in this quarantine. Know that even if you aren't somebody that's at a high risk, you could be a carrier and give it to someone. So everyone's got to be careful. We're all in this together, right? So, and keep an eye in Gossip and the Justice with Jax YouTube, because I will pop on as things happen. So we have something to do and chat. Maybe we'll do some lives and watch some stuff together. Something, since we're all stuck inside, right? So, yeah, the stores are packed. Every time I've gone to a store, it's been really busy. Yeah. So, all right. I am out for now. Take care of yourselves, and we'll talk soon. Investigation continues, right? Jeff and Zom.